At some point in time, we're going to see a big crash. It's moving.
All right, so what happened here? Let's back up. The morning before I did this job, I got called out on an emergency basis. The client said, we have a tree down over the road, and I anticipated something fairly small. So I went out there with my chainsaw ready to make a few cuts and clear the road and get them all back on their way. And then I realized that this tree is being supported in 3 locations. One of them was way up high, hooked onto another oak tree, and then another section of it was hooked onto a bay tree. There was broken branches everywhere up high, so I know there was a lot of strain on it. So I came to the realization that I shouldn't really cut anything until I have a team there, and I really should do it with the bucket. So I told the client this is going to have to wait till the morning, and we got out there first thing. We did set up the bucket truck for this, but I spent a lot of time really looking this over. And adjacent to the tree was another black oak that had latiparous sulfurous fungus. It's lost its coloration there, but the tree was very hollow. The top was broken out, and it was still alive. I couldn't believe that it was still alive. With all that rot and all that decay, it was still supporting an upper canopy. This one wasn't a heavy one, but it's very similar in situation to the tree that we're dealing with here. The butt and the base of this tree was completely rotted. It cracked and fell over, but there was a lot of foliage up there. There was a lot of healthy looking tissue up there. And what really kind of frightened me is I believe that if I had walked by and looked at that tree from a distance and not really scrutinized it for any fungal activity, I might have thought that there wasn't a whole lot to worry about because there was no obvious exposed decay. So, another part of the problem we've got in this particular location is positioning the bucket. Because we have so many branches from so many other trees in here, where we stop the bucket, where we manipulate that elbow, how we can spin it around. And I gotta say, Jorge is really good at it. We're all pretty good at the bucket, but he just has a real knack for positioning. He knows exactly where to stop the truck to make everything work out. You can see he was using the pole pruner quite a bit up there because we were spending a lot of time clearing and making it visible so that we could see what exactly is holding it, where it's holding it. You should never go at something like this with the chainsaw right off the bat and just start cutting. You really have to know what you're cutting, where you're cutting, and what could happen. So he's separating some of the branches out that are hung up in the back there. But off to the right down below, it's hung up really good on an adjacent oak tree.
It's held in 2 points. It's held over here and over here, and it's also a point on the ground. So there's 3 points that are keeping this thing from going down. My fear is that when we get rid of that one over there, that the bay won't be able to support it and it'll just break and go all the way down. I don't like that pole saw hanging down there.
Well, relatively large tree here is pinned down there, up there, and on the bay tree. Jorge's trying to piece it down without getting swiped down to the ground himself.
We're taking it one small piece at a time with the pole saw, clearing it, because visibility is so critical. If you just start going at it with a chainsaw, you don't know what's going to happen. At any given point, this tree is going to fall down because the base of the tree is completely loose. At some point in time, we're going to see a big crash.
All right, that mark you just see right there is where the oak tree is pushing on the bay. So he opted to cut this loose with the pole saw. Here, I'm going to speed it up real fast here because This took quite a while. It takes a lot of effort to use a pole saw on a large cut like that. But he didn't want to be close to it because he didn't know how much it was going to spring. We didn't know if the bay was going to hold it. It did. We were surprised. We thought it would just snap everything. So every decision has to be predicated on the what if of what's holding the tree, what's possibly going to break, what's going to go down. And a lot of times it's just an educated guess, but you've always got to assume the worst because anything can happen. There's the base of that tree. I couldn't believe how much rot was down there. So Jorge is picking away up there, getting it all the way back to where the oak tree is pushing on the bay. There's the next to last cut. He's nervous because it's pushing on that bay so much that we were afraid that when it released that the bay may swing back quite a bit further. And he's pushing on it a little bit right here to see how much tension there is. And there was indeed a lot of tension on that bay tree. Because now we've got it down to where it's holding only in 2 points. One was the ground point, which wasn't very big, and the second was this point here on the bay tree. I guess the third point would be the base of the tree where it was sitting on the ground, but it was completely severed. So Jorge took his time and did an undercut here with hopes of having this piece come back at him. With the pressure, you've always got to be careful because sometimes if you have a piece break loose at you like that, it can actually throw that little section and spin it off real fast, and it can be quite dangerous. So I'll just let you watch the rest of this.
No. Pull the saw up more. I know. It's moving.
Hand me the pole saw.
Okay, you want to hand him the pole saw? Can you get over a little bit further? A little bit. Can you come this way a little bit more? Well, you still need the pole saw?
Yeah. Whoa!
Oh man.
Get that thumb up.
That scared me too.
Yeah, I was not expecting it. Kind of just, oh no! Root fungus.
No,
No?
that's different. That's there may be oak root fungus in the soil here as well, but that was nerve-wracking. It's got latiparous fungus in there. Oh yeah.
Too old.
Yeah. Too old to eat anyway.
Still pretty fresh, but
Here, bring it up here.
it's to that hard foamy stage.
Look at how orange that is. Oh, beautiful. Chicken of the woods.
Yeah, not too fun to be delicious though.
No, at this point it's no good. Where's that big one?